Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Lecturer, Mr. Hammam PhD, and all of our beloved friends. We are from the 6th group. There are 3 members of this group, me, Ratna Irawati, and also Mbak Diana and Mbak Sugiyarni. In this occasion, we would like to present about the cooperative principle and politeness. As we know, the philosopher who introduced cooperative principle is Greece, or Herbert Paul Greece. He stated that make your conversational contribution such as is required at the stage at which it occurs by the accepted purpose or direction of the talk exchange in which you are engaged. Greece introduced us the concept of conversation, or it called maxims. There are 4 maxims. The first one is quantity. It means that make your contribution as informative as is required for the current purposes of the exchange, and to not make your contribution more informative than is required. So the quantity is not too much, but also not too less. And then the quality, maxim of quality, do not say what you believe to be false, and then do not say that for which you lack adequate evidence. The quality is good means it is proper. And then maxim of relation or relevance, be relevant. It is related to the topic, not out of the topic. And then maxims of manner, avoid obscurity of expression, avoid ambiguity, be brave, avoid unnecessary prolixity or verbosity, and be orderly. Talking about manner, it is politeness, right? And then come to the implicature. What is implicature? Implicature is non-literal meaning must be inferred from context and the CP in a special type of inference. And then we can see that Greece states that to work out a conversational implicature, the hearer must rely on the following information. The first one, the conventional meaning of the words used, together with the identity of any differences that may be involved. The second one, the CP or cooperative principle and its maxims. The third, the context, linguistic or otherwise. The fourth, other items of background knowledge. And the last one, mutual awareness of 1 up to 4. Talking about flouting the maxim. A flout is when someone deliberately and ostentatiously contravenes a maxim. This may be considered to be a major violation. Flouting the maxim, for example, flouting the maxim of quantity, maybe we talk too short or too long. And the second one, flouting the maxim of quality, maybe we can say it not being truthful in the literal sense of the term. And the third, flouting the maxim relation, switch the topic, so it is not related with the real topic. And the last one, flouting the maxim of manner, avoid actually naming the place. Conflicting maxim. Sometimes speakers will exploit a maxim and create an implicature because of a clash with another maxim. And then hedges, words or phrases telling hearers to disregard one of the maxims. How speakers are metapragmatically aware of what they are saying. Metapragmatics is the study of how the effects and conditions of language use themselves become objects of discourse. And then infringing the CP or cooperative principle, when someone unintentionally generates an implicature. This category is very important from a second language perspective because it may come about when a speaker or writer has inadequate command of the language. And then violating the cooperative principle. In some cases, speakers may not tell the truth. Talking about that violations, in the main is how sometimes speakers or writer violate the maxim, the fourth of maxim. But there are limitations of this theory. For example, like Greece does not deal with the interpersonal meaning, And then the CP or cooperative principle does not allow for variation according to activity or gender or and culture. And there may be overlap in the maxims, and also the maxims are different in nature, and there may be a range of possible interpretations of maxims. And the last one, there are better competing models. That's all for my presentation, and it will continue by Mbak Diana. Thank you so much, Mbak Diana. The floor is yours.
Okay guys, I will continue the presentation. I will explain about an example of application of the GP to the Juji. There are four maxim in terms. There are quantity, quality, relation, and manner. Okay, let's see this table first. This is such a kind of indicator in every maxim. There and in indicator, it's divided to two kinds of indicator. It's observance, and then the second is violation. In a maximum quantity, for the observance is not excessive, not repeat, and informative, and the violation, excessive, repeated, less information. It is the antonym for the observance and the violation. And then the second one is quality. It's truthful, and for the violation is untruthful. It's unsupported by adequate evidence, or and then the relation based on topic. And then violation is out of topic. The last one is the manner. For the observance is precious, brief, and orderly. And then the violation, ambiguous, prolix, and disorderly. We are going to the example. The writer take the example from the letter. It is the letter received by the author or the writer. There are 23 sentences in the letter. This is for the quantity from this letter. The other suggests that this letter could have been made in just one sentence. Would you for the suggestion is would you so kind as to send me a copy of your article? This is the quality. In a number of place, the sincerity of the writer can be questioned, especially bearing in mind that the request article was in fact a very short pieces of just a few paragraphs in a newspaper. In the fourth and fifth sentence, and 13 and 14, and then in the 15 and 16. This is the sentence from the letter that have quality. That's how the quality. Okay, sorry. Actually, it still have to point there. There are a relationship and manner. In spite of the fact that the letter start off very directly and to the point, it is the relation. And for example, in I'm writing to ask if you grant me a favor, and then the second one for the manner, it is not follow up on his promise and start for the manner. The question is whether the text is clear or not. Now we are going to the models of politeness. From the first model, it's from lack of rule of pragmatic competence. There are two pragmatic competence by lack of rules. First is the be clear, and then the second one in be polite, rules of politeness. In be clear rules of conversation, there are quantity. For example, be as not example. That is in quantity, be as informative as required, and be no more informative than required. And then in the rules 2, quality, only say what you believe to be true. And then next go to the rules 3, relevance, be relevance. And then the last one, and the rule 4, manner, be precise, don't be ambiguous, don't be obscure, and be sensitive. And then the second one, in the pragmatic competence of be polite, rule of politeness, for the first rule, don't imposes, and the second one is give option, and then third one is make a feel good, be friendly. This is the figure from Brown and Levinson. This is also the example of pragmatic. This is there were 5 option assaults in figure for the FTA. FTA are act which treater address self-image, which embrace or make them feel uncomfortable. Politeness to the FTA, unrecorded politeness without recursive action, policy, and then with recursive action, there are 2 response, positive and negative. And on-record politeness, there are 2 options, on-record politeness or off-record. And in politeness, don't do FTA. I think enough my presentation. It will continue by Mbak Ratna. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I want to continue the material about the cooperative principle and politeness and the 6.13 about the postmodern. But before that, I want you look at this example about the dialogue. This one. A parent phones home and speaks to his young, and then his name is Alex. Alex has a friend, his name is Rupert, and a parent phoned to the Rupert also. Alex said first, we want to speak to Rupert, and then the parents answered, okay, and Rupert, hello, and parents answered, hello Rupert, what are you doing? And Rupert answered, I am speaking to you on the telephone. Okay, see about this one, look at this one, what are you doing? And then Rupert answered, I am speaking to you on the telephone. Yeah. I said to you, is this polite or not? Okay. Yeah. To the classical view, this is a lacking in politeness. Okay. And the second, this one is about postmodern approaches to the politeness. So, from the example, you know that there is impolite answer from Rupert. And the postmodern approaches to politeness, the characteristic, more global, and then negotiated between speaker and listener, and then relational, rise awareness. Yeah, this is about the expanses of discourse. And then I will give the example again. This is about from the limerick corpus of Irish English, and this is about the A, B, and C. And you can see about this one, make me a cup of tea. Yeah. In this dialogue, we can see here how politeness is negotiated in the ongoing discourse. B performs, yeah, make me a cup of tea. This is interpreted as lacking in politeness according to the classical view. And you can see about this one. The first B said first lacking in politeness to the classical view, and he softened this tone by twice using please. The first please and then the second please. So the initial assessment of politeness is revised as the discourse progresses. Next, this is a politeness marker taxonomy. This is the example. Yes, for the first is politeness markers, please. Like the previous dialogue, B say this twice of please. This is the politeness maker. Yeah, it is here and then here. For overstaters, like absolutely. For intensifiers, very, so, and so on. And committers, like I'm sure, and lexical intensifiers, swear words. And aggressive in the interrogative, like why haven't you told me before? Yeah, this is the politeness markers taxonomy. And the next of application to pedagogy from Boston, 1999. The results of that the 16 until 20% of non-native international students fail to recognize implicature, and then from the pedagogical intervention, here 6 hours formal induction and 6 weeks of informal induction, and then here cross-culture teaching also, and the last one is focus on individual item. From here, the result, 16 under 20% of non-native international students, almost at the same level as American. So here, the success of application to pedagogy after they applied in pedagogy, so the non-native international students is almost the same level as American students. And then from Moraine 2010, this is a more process oriented awareness approach, and then involve the general principle of cooperative principle, and then can be explored further by student using the regular class discussion methods. So this is the characteristic from Moraine 2010. And here, during the conversation, what do you think are some of the things that influence what we say? The possible answer, the first, who it is we are talking and our relationship to them, and then where the conversation is taking place, and then the feeling of the other persons, and the impressions we want to give of ourselves. Yeah. Okay. Once more that I want to say, the classical view with interventories of items suggestion more button-up approach dealing with various categories systematically one by one, and the postmodern view, on the hand, with its more global approach, suggests top-down methodology, raising awareness of how politeness develops over structures of discourse and is constructed by the participants as the discourse progresses. Thank you. That's all. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.